you all doing out there? I'm new to the radio here in New Zealand. My name's Andy, and what I'm going to do is just share some of my favourite music with you. Kind of a desert island discs. Who knows?
For the snowbirds, here come the snowbirds. Sandals, shorts, and mosquitoes, sunburns, bikinis, and speedos. People swimming in the ocean, it's cold in there, you know. But the snowbirds don't mind the snowbirds. I just wanna be with you.
Well, that's for everybody that's on holiday. And it's a funny time of year because we're kind of sandwiched between Christmas and New Year. Some people don't want to go back to work. You know what? I don't blame you. Of course, back home in England, it's freezing cold and, nobody can go down the beach like you guys can. And I'm just been watching the TV screen here and it's showing Castle Point, and I was there just a few days ago and I thought, what a beautiful place. Anyway, I don't know about political correctness here. I don't know how you guys are, but I'm going to do a song by Randy Newman, and yes, that's his real name. And it's all about short people, so don't be offended if you're short.
Little voices going beep, beep, beep. They got grubby little fingers, dirty little minds. They're gonna get you every time. Well, I don't want no short people. Don't want no short people. Don't want no short people around here.
Well, I hope you don't mind any short people aren't offended out there at all. But you know what? There's advantages of being short. You're the last person to know when it's raining. Anyway, I come from the Midlands, from Coventry. It's well known for many bands. You think of Ozzy Osbourne, he was from there. We're thinking of ELO. And of course, we have our own ska and reggae scene over there, because there's quite a lot of Jamaicans that had eventually settled over there. So I'm going to play a next band. Is going to be UB40. Now, in case you didn't know, UB40, yes, they come from Birmingham. But UB40, that was the code name on the signing on form if you're unemployed and you had to go to the offices to try and get your dole, your unemployment ability. It was a UB40 form that you had. So just to give you a little bit of insight, UB40, all the way from Birmingham.
Cheerio, cheerio, baby.
Well, we love a little bit of reggae where we come from. And that was UB40. And as I was saying, they're a band from near Birmingham, very close to where I live. And the band's in a little bit of difficulty at the moment. They're still running, but they've split in two. The band was originally formed by two brothers, the Campbell brothers, and one decided to go one direction and the other's gone the other direction. So they're very much in competition with each other, and what a shame they're not talking to each other. But that's what happens with brothers sometimes, and that's what happens in music when you get contracts involved. Well, another band from the Birmingham area, and wow, this band came out in the 70s. And in the 70s, well, I was listening to vinyl then, and if you had a record player, you'd put a piece of vinyl on, you'd listen to it. It's straightforward enough, but something about the ELO records, something about the engineering, how they were made. All of a sudden, just a cheap stereo sounded absolutely fantastic when you put an ELO record on, and that's down to the engineering, the recording, and the genius that we know of Jeff Lynne. And this is one of their best songs. I'm just learning to sing this with a band at the moment, and it's one of those songs makes everybody happy.
Good morning. Today's forecast calls for blue skies.
Sun is shining in the sky. There ain't a cloud in sight. It stopped raining. Everybody's still to play. And don't you know, it's a beautiful new day. Hey, running down the avenue. See how the sun shines brightly in the city. On the streets where once was pretty, Mr. Blue Sky is living here today. Hey, Mr. Blue Sky, please tell us why you had to hide away for so long. Where did we go wrong? Mr. Blue Sky, please tell us why you had to hide away for so long. Where did we go wrong? Hey, you with the pretty face, welcome to the human race. A celebration, Mr. Blue Sky's up there waiting, and today is the day we've waited for. Oh, Mr. Blue Sky, please tell us why you had to hide away for so long. Where did we go wrong? Hey there, Mr. Blue, we're so pleased to be with you. Look around, see what you do. Everybody smiles at you. Mr. Blue Sky.
Well, I could say that's one of the best records of all time, but we've all got our own views on that. And ELO are still going strong. Well, Jeff Lynne is. He hasn't got his original members of the band, people like Bevan. There was a few others as well that I can't quite remember. But did you know, even Roy Wood from Wizard, from back in the 70s, he was part of the ELO group right at the very beginning. But we're going to stay in Birmingham for a while. In case you didn't know, Birmingham is England's second city. It's right in the centre. It's known as I'd say where the Industrial Revolution first started out from, with the foundries that came from the local coal, and they first started creating cast iron, making bridges, steam engines, all sorts. And, well, as they say, the rest is history. Well, the next artiste or the next band is Dixie's Midnight Runners, another great band from Birmingham. There was a bit of a story, a bit of controversy when they first appeared on Top of the Pops, because one of their songs was called Jackie Wilson. Jackie Wilson Sings. Well, Jackie Wilson's was a great singer from the 60s. Also at the same time, there was a darts player called Jockey Wilson. Well, for whatever reason, the band started playing on Top of the Pops, which was UK's main pop programme. And in the background, while they were playing, was a picture of the darts player, not Jackie Wilson, as we know him.
Jackie Wilson said, "It was spring, you see. I kinda love you, but it messed me up my feet. Let it all calm down. Oh, let it all calm down. Let it all. I'm so worn up. Don't need no tea. My cup, let it all calm down. Oh, let it all calm down. Watch this. Watch this. When you smile, I'm in heaven.
Dex's Midnight Runners and Kevin Rowland, who, what he sings, he's not the best singer in the world. And of course, you probably remember him from Come On Eileen. Not the best singer, always sounds like he's got a cold. But, you know, I've got a theory. You know, a lot of great singers, I'm going to say, you know, let's say Bob Geldof, let's say Bob Dylan. You know, if they had been on the X Factor or Britain's Got Talent or New Zealand's Got Talent, they would never have made it. And this is something about someone's personality that just makes them shine through despite what their voice is like. Anyway, we're going to shift back over to the UK now just for a short while. In case I haven't mentioned it enough, this is Arrow Radio. Of course it is. And we're right in the centre of New Zealand, North Island. And I've been, how lucky am I to be able to come here? Just on a bit of a whim, I've just put the feelers out and they've welcomed me in and given me drinks and sat me down and made me very welcome here. And I think what a great radio station. I also have my own show in Coventry, right in the middle of the UK, and it's called Hills FM, HILLZ FM, a very similar station to this, and it's very much for the community. And I do a breakfast show every Wednesday, which I thoroughly enjoy. Anyway, we're still in the UK. Any Formula One fans out there? Well, there's a lot back in the UK, and whenever you switch the TV on and they're doing anything to do with Formula One, you will hear this track. Now, it's a Fleetwood Mac track, and it's called The Chain, and what they don't do is do the slow bit at the beginning. They do when the bass cuts in right in the middle. So I hope you enjoy a little bit of Fleetwood Mac, and this just, you hear it, and it just reminds me of Formula One. What music do you have over here for your Formula One? I don't know. Maybe someone will tell me. It's a slow start.
Listen to the wind blow, watch the sun rise.
Well, that was Fleetwood Mac and The Chain, and so I did put it out there. Now, what music do you have for your Formula One over here in New Zealand? Well, that's ours, and it only starts in the middle bit. Anyway, we're just cracking on. Fleetwood Mac. The Rumours album must have been one of the biggest selling albums of all time. I'm not up to date with albums these days, but it must be up there with Pink Floyd and maybe Michael Oldfield. I don't know, but these were all big artists. For me, from around the 70s, and very much my love of music is from about, I'm going to say, 75 to 85. But you know what? It goes back further. How far? I'm going to tell you. It goes back to Elvis Presley. I remember we had a radiogram at home, a teak radiogram. It had a few singles in it, and there was Roy Orbison in there. I think there was the Everly Brothers, and there was, of course, Mr. Elvis Aaron Presley. Ho, ho, ho. Elvis Presley.
When no one else can understand me, when everything I do is wrong, you give me hope and consolation. You give me strength to carry on, and you're always there. And when you smile, the world is brighter. You touch my hand and I'm a king. Your kiss to me is worth a fortune. Your love for me is everything. I guess I'll never know the reason why you love me as you do. That's the wonder of you. Play it, James.
Elvis Presley has left the building. Well, I don't know if you know, I do actually, I am a musician, I sing, I play sax, and I always throw an Elvis Presley song in it, and I always kind of deliberately mix a few words up here. I'm not going to say what they are. Maybe you'll have to come along to the show sometime. But yes, Elvis Presley, yes, he'll be there forever. You know what? He never officially came to the United Kingdom. It is said his plane once touched down on the way back from Germany for refuelling in Scotland, but he never came to England. I don't think his manager would let him, and I think he has got more fans per mile than anywhere else, and except for New Zealand, of course. So how does Elvis go down here? You know what? I think Elvis is loved all around the world. Anyway, you've got Andy on Arrow Radio. I'm talking about a little bit about my music and kind of what makes me tick. I played a little bit of Madonna earlier. Well, she's the queen of pop. She's got all kinds of names. She's one of these ladies that has the skill of continually reinventing herself and changing her image, her music, but still staying current. And I remember when, one of her albums came out, CDs had just come out, and I think the only CDs you could get at the time when they were just coming out in like the mid-80s, I think the only CDs, the first one I ever saw Dire Straits, and then it was, of course, Madonna. She was shortly afterwards. So she was breaking new ground. Well, we love a little bit of Madonna. Hope you do too.
Some boys kiss me, some boys hug me. I think they're okay. If they don't give me proper credit, I just walk away. They can beg and they can plead, but they can't see the light. 'Cause the boy with the cold hard cash is always Mr. Right. 'Cause we are living in a material world, and I am a material girl. You know that we are living in a material world, and I am a material girl. Some boys roam and some boys load, and that's alright with me. If they can't raise my interest, then I have to let them be. Some boys try and some boys lie, but I don't let them play. No way, only boys that save their pennies make my rainy day. 'Cause we are living in a material world, and I am a material girl. You know that we are living in a material world, and I am a material girl. Boys may come and boys may go, and that's alright, you see. Experience has made me rich, and now they're after me. 'Cause everybody's living in a material world, and I am a material girl. You know that we are living in a material world, and I am a material girl. Living in a material world, and I am a material girl. You know that we are living in a material world, and I am a material girl. A material, a material, a material, a material world.
Living in a Material World, Madonna. That was one of her early tracks, and she has been around since, the early 80s, maybe even earlier. I'm going to have to check that out sometime. But she was certainly around when I was enjoying the music at my very most. Well, we're going to go back to Birmingham again. I did mention UB40 earlier, and UB40, they were named after the serial number on the form, the unemployment benefit form, and they were formed in Birmingham when there was a lot of depression around and a lot of unemployment, and they were unemployed, and yes, they were penniless at some time, just like a lot of other poor musicians, struggling musicians. But one of their big hits that they had, they started off with a song called 1 in 10, and they went on, they had an amazing hit with Red Red Wine. And in case you didn't know, I'm going to give you some insight information. Red Red Wine, great song, written by Neil Diamond. Yes.
Red, red wine, Red, red wine, you make me feel so fine. You keep me rocking all of the time. Red, red wine, you make me feel so grand. I feel $1 million when you're just in my hand. Red, red wine, you make me feel so sad. Anytime I see you go, it make me feel bad. Red, red wine, you make me feel so fine. Monkey packing music on the sweet red line. Red, red wine, you give me whole heap of zing. Whole heap of zing, make me do my own thing. Red, red wine, you really know how to love. You're kind of loving like a blessing from above. Red, red wine, I love you right from the start. Right from the start, with all of my heart. Red, red wine in a 80s style. Red, red wine in a modern beat style. Yeah. Give me a little time, let me clear up my mind. Give me a little time, let me clear up my mind. Give me red wine, because it make me feel fine. Let me feel fine all of the time. Red wine, it make me feel so fine. Monkey packing music on a sweet deep line. The line broke, the monkey get choked. Bun bad ganja pan him little rubber bow. Red wine, I'm gonna hold on to you, cause I know you love truth. Red wine, I'm gonna love it till I die. Love you till I die, and that's no lie. Red wine can't get you on my mind. Wherever you may be, I'll surely find. I'll surely find. Make no fuss, just stay with us. Give me a little time, let me clear up my mind. Give me a little time, let me clear up my mind. Give me red wine, because it make me feel fine. Make me feel fine all of the time. Red wine, it make me feel so fine. Monkey packing music on the sweet deep line. The line broke, the monkey get choked. Bun bad ganja pan him little rubber mouth. Red wine, you really know how to love. You're kinda loving like a blessing from above. Red wine, I love you right from the start. Right from the start, with all of my heart. Red wine, you give me whole heap of zing. Whole heap of zing, make me do my own thing. Red wine in a 80s style. Red wine in a modern beat style. Yeah. Red wine, you make me feel so fine. You keep me rocking all of the time. Red wine, you make me feel so grand. I feel a
Well, that was UB40 from all the way over in England, in Birmingham, where I come from. And we love a little bit of UB40. Well, I tell you what, I'm going to do a little bit of an experiment now, because another one of my favourite artists at the moment, and he's a guy that comes away from America. He's on tour all around Europe, but he's very big in England, and I hope you enjoy this gentleman. He's got the most beautiful voice I've ever heard. It's Gregory Porter. Let's just see if I can get him on for you.
This is not for me, no.
Oh, we've done it. We've got Gregory Porter on in New Zealand for you.
I will not commit, nor will I submit to musical genocide. This is not for me. I won't let it be, no musical genocide. Give me a blues song, tell the world what's wrong, and the gospel singer giving those messages of love. Woe in the soul, man, with your heart in the palm of his hand, singing his stories of love and pain. Oh, I do not agree. I do not agree. This is not for me, no musical genocide. I will not commit, nor will I submit to musical genocide. This is not for me. I won't let it be, no musical genocide. Give me a blues song, tell the world what's wrong, And what about the gospel sing heavenly messages of love? And woe the soul man with your heart in his hands, singing his stories of love and pain. Whoa, I do not agree. I do not agree, I do not agree. No. Not for me. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, people. Come on.
Well, that is Gregory Porter, and just listen out for him. Look him up wherever you go. Gregory Porter. He's one of my favourite artists. He's won awards all over the world and beyond. One of the best singers in the world. Anyway, we're going to keep on with some of my favourite music, and I have had the great pleasure and privilege of meeting a few people out of ELO over the years, and I've worked with many, many, many people over the years and got to meet some of my idols, and it's been great. I'm right in the centre of England, so we have a lot of great bands coming through all the time. Anyway, in case you didn't know, you'll listen to Andy on Arrow Radio, and they've given me an hour to express some of my favourite music. And this next one is by ELO. And as a DJ, I always have a little bit of fun with this song. You'll see why. Somehow you'll see why.
She cried to the southern wind about a love that never should have ended. Every dream in her heart was gone, heading for a showdown. Bad dreamer, what's your name? Looks like we're riding on the same train. Looks as though there'll be more pain. It's gonna be a showdown, and it's raining all over the world. Raining all over the world. Tonight, the longest night. She came to me like a friend. She blew it on the southern wind. Now my heart is turned to stone again. It's gonna be a showdown. Save me. It's a real submarine. It's gonna be a showdown, and it's raining all over the world. Raining all over the world. Tonight, the longest night.
all over the world. Well, it's probably raining back home. Back in old England, and of course it's freezing cold over there. And you know, normally this time of year we have to scrape the ice off the cars in the morning when you get up for work. It's awful. I don't think you quite have it that bad out here. Anyway, I'm sharing a bit of our music from Birmingham and the surrounding areas. I played a little bit of Dex's Midnight Runners earlier. Well, this is probably their biggest hit, and this gets regularly played. You go to a wedding, this will be played. It's nearly time for me to go. I've got time for one more song, and I could stay here for hours. I'd like to thank everyone at Arrow Radio for making me so welcome. Bit of Fleetwood Mac and I'm out of here.
She broke down and let me in. Made me see
where I've been. Been down one time, been down two times, never going back again. You don't know what it means to win. Come down and see me again. Been down one time, been down two times, never going back again.
Well, thank you for having me at Arrow Radio. It's been a pleasure. I'm Andy. I'm from Hills FM in the Midlands in Coventry. And thanks for Ronnie and everyone for trusting me at your radio station. Thank you very much.